It's time for our Ktravel segment, where we introduce some of the most popular places to visit this summer in Korea. Today, we go over to Jeju Island, South Korea's biggest island and one of the top travel destinations in Korea. Jeju has also become a popular place to do a handalsari, or a place to live in for a month. We are now going to connect to someone who is doing just that, Jessie Lee, a student and Jeju guide. Hello, Jessie.
Hello, Jessie.
Hi.
So, Jessie, we've had you in the studio before. That's when you were a guide in Seoul. Now you're in Jeju. So please introduce yourself to our viewers who might see you for the first time and what brought you to Jeju.
Right, yeah, my name is Jesse. I've been living in Seoul for the past 3.5 years, and I'm majoring in Korean language and literature at Chungang University, located in Seoul. And I ended up coming to Jeju Island for about a month this summer through a domestic credit exchange program between my university and Jeju National University here on Jeju Island. So I was able to come here for a month and take a summer semester class for about 3 weeks and get credits that are recognized at my university and stay in the dormitory here and just have a great time traveling around and checking out the island.
I hope that your study and having fun balance is all right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great.
So, Jessie, Jeju Island is one of my favorite places to go to. But what was your first impression when you arrived on Jeju Island? Like, what was the biggest difference for you when you compare it to other cities like, obviously, Seoul or Busan?
Right. I think something that I noticed was that the terrain is relatively flat. First of all, there are very few tall buildings. There are no skyscrapers or anything like that. But if you look it up, it turns out Jeju Island is actually a volcanic island, and topography is dominated by Hallasan Mountain in the center of the island. So the terrain is kind of really tall in the center and then just peters off sort of smoothly towards the beaches on the edge of the island. So besides that, there are also some smaller volcanoes, like extinct volcanoes and stuff dotted around. But the terrain itself is relatively smooth, so that if you're somewhere high up, you can really see really far all the way out to the sea, and that's something that I really noticed right away and sort of I thought it was great, really different from any mainland cities that I've been to.
And Jessie, I mean, Jeju is a popular travel destination among people in Korea, but also foreigners. So as you've been on the island now for a while, what do you think attracts foreigners to Jeju?
Well, I think lots of people enjoy the island life or are sort of fascinated by the island life. And I mean, it's not just Jeju. There's also places like Bali or the island nations in Southeast Asia. And I think it's a sort of similar pull that brings people here. It feels Korean, but also in a certain sense foreign at the same time, because the terrain is so different from mainland Korea, and just everything looks it's different from what I'm familiar to from having lived in Seoul. And also, I think a big important point is the ease of air access. There's an international airport on Jeju Island, so you don't necessarily have to fly through Seoul to get to Jeju. Depending on where you're departing from, you may be able to get a direct flight, particularly if you're departing from Southeast Asia, the vicinity. So you can get a direct flight right into Jeju and like get here and immediately. So I think that's also something that makes this popular, particularly to people living in Southeast Asia or in the vicinity of Korea and Jeju Island.
Right, that is actually a very good tip, because I mean, for us, we usually only fly from Seoul to Jeju, but it's really great to have all of these routes, even from other countries, like from Southeast Asian countries.
Exactly.
Right.
And though you've only been there a little while, hopefully you get to experience more in the future. Jeju Island is home to many famous tourism spots, and hopefully you've had the time to go visit some of those. You know, they have natural attractions to cultural sites, beaches, and, you know, the beautiful beaches, of course. But what would you what would you recommend in your personal opinion, maybe to your friends or to people who want to visit?
Right. I think my favorite place that I've been to so far here is somewhere called Udo. Udo is actually another island. It's a tiny island compared to the size of Jeju. It's off the coast of Jeju Island, and you can get to Udo in about 20 minutes if you take a ferry. They have ferries running every day, every 30 minutes until 6:30 in the afternoon. It's also a small volcanic island, but it's a Jeju is a different from what I'm used to having lived in Seoul, but Udo is even different from Jeju. It's small. You can ride a bike here, and you can get from one side of the island to the other side in maybe half an hour, or even less than that. And it's just you can really explore and see the entire island here, and the beaches here are also. I'm actually in Udo right now. I
Oh,
keep saying
wow.
here. Yes, I came to stay the night, so I'm on my second day here in Udo. But the beaches are beautiful, and it's great to swim. And it's just if you've experienced Jeju and you're sort of like, okay, now I get it. I've been in Jeju for a little while. Coming over to Udo and checking out and yet another different landscape and different scenery is really nice. I'm really enjoying this place.
Yeah, I really love Udo Island myself, and I believe that peanut butter ice cream is actually very popular there.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Have you tried that
Yeah,
too?
Udo's. I haven't tried. I actually can't eat peanuts, so I can't have
Oh,
peanut
Oh
ice
no.
cream. But I know that Udo is, I think, like their main crop or sort of crop or food that they're famous for is peanuts, and there's peanut ice cream and peanut lattes and all kinds of things with peanuts in them that you can buy at cafes and shops here.
right. And we're actually going to go deeper into the food part in just a bit. But before that, Jesse, there are also so many activities to do on Jeju Island, especially in summer water activities, for instance. And you can also ride horses. What would be some recommendations for such activities and that you maybe have tried out yourself?
Right. Yeah. So one recommendation is windsurfing. Windsurfing is actually, in a certain sense, the reason I came to Jeju, in that the class that I enrolled in at Jeju National University is a windsurfing class.
Oh.
Windsurfing is kind of a combination of sailing and surfing. So you have something that's like you stand on something that's like a surfboard, but you have a sail that's attached to the board, and you have to hold that and catch the wind with the sail, and that's what propels you forward. And Jeju National University actually has a water sports department in their university, and they have like facilities near the beach and all of the equipment and stuff. So the class I enrolled in was just a 1 week, sort of really short for even for a summer semester, but one week going out every day for the whole day and learning windsurfing. And it was hard. It was it's difficult to hold up that sail and stay balanced on the board. It was harder than I expected, but really fun experience. And then something else that I'd really like to recommend is the Haenyeo experience. One of the sort of famous pieces of Jeju culture is Haenyeo, who are traditional female divers who harvest seafood in the coastal waters of Jeju. So they wear like a wetsuit and a hat and goggles and everything, and dive down and hold their breath for a really long time and harvest like fish and seafood from the sea floor. And I went to a place called Toshi Haenyeo, which is a small company that does a Haenyeo experience. So I can wear the same clothes and the same, like, have the same net and stuff that they have, and dive into the water and try to grab stuff. And it's hard to dive wearing that suit because it's very buoyant. That was much harder than I expected, but the water is so clear. So if you have goggles and you go down, you don't want to go back up because it's so pretty, and there are fish swimming around everywhere, and that was really great. So that's a picture of me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there was also a real Haenyeo person who came out and took pictures with us as well, and they take pictures for you if you go to do that experience. So that was really great. I had lots of fun there.
So, Jesse, were you successful in catching anything?
I didn't catch anything myself. Another person caught an octopus. The staff there actually told, like, the octopus, they hide under rocks, so it's hard to find them. But the staff there said, "Oh, there's an octopus under this rock." And another person who was doing the experience with me caught the octopus. So I didn't catch it myself, but I did get to hold it and take a picture with the octopus.
Nice. And speaking of octopus, that brings us to our next topic, Walter.
That reminds me of some food that I like to eat in Jeju called octopus ramen, which is quite popular. But we obviously can't talk about Jeju without talking about food. Now, since you've been there, hopefully you've got to taste as much delicacies as possible. Now, what food has impressed you so far, and what would you recommend to your friends or anyone who's traveling to Jeju?
Well, I personally really like hue, which is the Korean word for just raw fish. So some similar to what people know as sushi in Japanese cuisine. But there are lots of restaurants selling hue on Jeju Island, and there are a wide variety that you can try. So I've really enjoyed the hue here. And on top of that, I think the most well-known dish from Jeju is probably Jeju black pork, which is a Korean pig breed, the Jeju black pig that's native to Jeju Island. And Korea itself is known for grilled pork dishes like samgyeopsal. So if you come to Jeju and have like a Jeju black pork samgyeopsal, that's sort of traditional Korean food with a Jeju touch that you can really only find here. And then one final thing that I really like is I personally like fruit a lot, and Jeju is well known for its citrus because of the climate here. It's warm, so you can grow citrus here in places or in times of the year that you can't in mainland Korea. At least that's my understanding of why there's so much citrus here. But there's Mandarin orange, 귤, and also halabong orange, which is a popular orange variety here. So you can just eat raw citrus, of course. Raw citrus, raw orange is great. But there are also, if you go to cafes or ice cream shops, they have lots of citrus ice cream, halabong ice cream or halabong latte, 귤 latte. Lots of dishes that have lots of like nice treats that have citrus incorporated in that. And I really like the citrus flavor, so I've had lots of fun sort of trying out those sorts of citrusy dishes.
Now, Jesse, you also mentioned 귤, which is tangerines. Have you actually, this is an impromptu question, but have you been to any of the spots from the drama when life gives you tangerines?
Oh, I haven't like searched any of those drama like filming spots out, but as you allude to, there are lots of Korean dramas have filmed scenes or filmed even the entire drama in Jeju because it's beautiful here and it looks like a scene out of a movie. So it's obvious that you'd film stuff here. And when you've, as I said, I haven't gone specifically to search out any of those spots, but just traveling around, driving around, or traveling around like near beaches, you can see signs that actually say so and so drama was filmed here. So I see those and I'm like, oh, well, so this is a place. This is famous. So this is a place that people come to because they're fans of a drama or stuff like that. I haven't searched out any of those places myself, but even if you don't look for them intentionally, you can just stumble upon a drama filming site just exploring Jeju Island.
Right. Maybe in the remainder of the time that you're on Jeju, you'll maybe explore more of these settings. But finally,
That's a
Jesse.
great idea. I'd love to.
Now, finally, do you have any final tips for anyone who wants to travel to Jeju during the summer?
Yeah, I think especially if you come in the summer, something that's important to know about Jeju is that the transportation is not quite like what you'd be used to from Seoul. So I've lived in Seoul for a while, so I'm used to subway, lots of subway lines, lots of buses. There's no subway, no trains at all in Jeju, and there are buses, but just because of the geography of the island, it's not quite as fast to get around by bus as it is on the mainland. So what I would recommend to those who can is to rent a car, especially if you're going to be here for a while, and especially if you're going to be here in the summer because it is really hot. So being able to travel more comfortably in a car is really good, and you can just get so many more places if you have that transportation means of transportation available directly to you. So that's one recommendation, and then also I think particularly foreigners who come to visit Jeju might spend a lot of time at the beach, and that's of course great because there are great beaches here. There's beaches everywhere. The entire perimeter of the island is beaches. But I also recommend just checking out the inland a little bit as well. So maybe neighborhoods or areas that are not as famous or not as popular. But as I mentioned earlier, if you go up high, you can sort of unconditionally you get a great view all the way out to the sea. So sort of going inland a bit, finding somewhere high up and just finding a cafe with a nice view or a restaurant with a nice view, and just enjoying that perspective on the terrain, the geography, and the experience of Jeju Island is great.
All right. Thank you very much, Jesse, for connecting with us today. I kind of feel I'm already on the island. Well, I hope you have an unforgettable summer in Jeju. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
And thank you, Walter, as always. We're going to see you back here tomorrow in the studio.
See you then.